Hello and welcome to another episode. I'd like to ask if you guys first wouldn't mind dropping a like, dropping a comment, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell so you're kept up to date on when new videos come out. Oh, sorry, it's a little cold and it's hard to talk. But yes, give me a little clickety click. Let me know what you're thinking. I always appreciate all the love you guys give me, and it really goes a long way helping me grow what I'm doing over here. With that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Alrighty guys, sorry for that brief interruption. I have no recollection of what we were talking about. But I know we were talking about advice for beginner riders. My 2 or 3 key, I'll try to stick it to 3. But my key pieces of advice would have to be, don't overthink your first bike purchase. Get something that makes sense for you. Get something that fits your parameters. And then, I guess, kind of just, if you're interested, just dive in with both feet. Don't let anything stop you. If it's just got to make sense for you at the point in time in your life. And if it doesn't make sense, then just wait. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But if you want to try it and it makes sense, so do it up. That's what my suggestion would be, is do it up, and nothing is stopping you. Advice number 2, it is more expensive than you think. And I say that because I got into it mostly because I've grown up on motorcycles, and I'm a big car guy, and I wanted to start modifying and tinkering with my car, but everything on cars is so expensive, and it's a little bit cheaper on bikes. And I say it's more expensive than you think because since it's so much cheaper, you think you can do more before you realize how much money you're spending. Like, the bike was $5,000 or so. Helmet was $600, cha-ching. GoPro, if you want a GoPro, is another couple hundred. Jacket is a couple hundred. Boots are a couple hundred. So you've got thousands of dollars that you're spending here. And yeah, so keep in mind, and even just modifications, like when I went to look at modifications for this, like the exhaust is cheap. Thank God this one already came with an exhaust, but the exhaust is cheaper than it would have been for a car, clearly. But since it's so much cheaper, or rather so much less expensive, it's easier to justify the purchase to yourself. It's easier to say, oh, well, I can't spend, $5,000 on an exhaust for my car, but I can spend, $500 on a slip-on for my bike. Or even just, oh, well, I can't spend, $300 on new headlights for my car, but I could spend $60 or $80 or $100 on new turn signals for my bike. And it's just stuff like that. Like, so you tally up, instead of making one big purchase like you would for a car, you make a bunch of smaller purchases for your bike that end up being a lot of money, unless you have, a super expensive bike and you're doing crazy things like unless you're buying, a Ducati or stuff like that, and you're or you're buying a Harley and you're going straight, stage 4 131, and you're doing a bunch of stuff to it. That just is very expensive. You're replacing the whole motor. But yeah, that would be advice number 2. Keep in mind that it is expensive. Point of advice number 3, if I really have to think about this, is, I know I said, don't overthink it too much, but still definitely do your research. Take a motorcycle safety course, see what your state laws are around motorcycling, and stuff like that. See what kinds of things are in your budget. See what kinds of bikes fit your interests. And I think then you would be golden and good to go. But those would be my 3 pieces of advice. Advice tip number 1: if you want to do it, don't let anybody stop you. Just go for it. Advice number 2: motorcycling, unless you just want to get a stock bike and keep it stock, it's going to be more expensive than you think. You're going to want to tinker a little bit. Everybody does. And a piece of advice number 3 would be do your research, get something you like, get something that fits you, and make sure you make a good decision, and make sure you make the best decision for you. Maybe you live in a rural area and you want to get a dual sport or an ADV bike. Just make the decision that's going to best suit your lifestyle. But yeah, with that being said, that's going to wrap up this video today. So if you guys wouldn't mind, just please like, commenting, and subscribing. It helps me out a bunch. And I look forward to seeing you guys next video. As always, ride safe.